Why not? Here we are again. Again. I feel like now it's become Groundhog's Day live.
Yeah, it's sorry, I'm trying to fluff so it's not just like one peacock thing going up. I need a haircut so bad.
I've stopped shaving for the most part, and this has nothing to do with quarantine. This is sheer lazy. I wish I could blame it on quarantine, but no,
you can't.
I'm just bored. So I've been running Facebook ads for my book.
How's that going?
Good.
It sounds like there's a qualification in there somewhere.
Am I making money? No. Am I losing money? Yes. Am I losing less money than when I started? Yes, by a lot.
Oh, actually, that's progress. So what do you think the difference is?
Okay, so my first ad, I did 6 ads. No, I did 12 ads. Yeah. 6 ads for one audience, 6 ads for another audience. And then my narrow audience was for like diehard X-Men fans, and then my broader audience was for sci-fi readers. My budget for the X-Men ad resulted in more impressions, fewer clicks, where my broad ad resulted in fewer impressions, more clicks, which was literally the backwards logic from what I expected.
Yeah.
And I talked to Mal Cooper, and Mal made the statement that the narrow ads are spending more money faster to get those ads out, which is why you're not seeing as many clicks. So what I'm going to do is, right now my Facebook ads are so layered. So if you saw that ad, you love X-Men. I mean, you must love X-Men. So I need to broaden that particular ad, which I'm going to run another. So I'm running a new set right now. The original set had, each ad had 3 images, 5 titles, 5 descriptions, 5 whatever. And then I went through and I picked out the best photo that had the highest reach and engagement. And it wasn't as clear cut as I thought it would be. Some of them, the majority of, I think 5 out of 6, it was the ad with no text, no book, no cover, no Kindle picture, no nothing, just straight cool photo. One of them, because I'm advertising to men, is a photo of a man on fire, like conjuring fire. And I'm wondering if, because it's a photo of like this hipster type dude, if people, if men were seeing that and going, huh? And then the Kindle ad, the one with the picture of the Kindle, is kind of a, oh, now I get what he's doing. So that was the only one that was not in favor of the ad, but of just the image. But I was spending more money for the Kindle one. So like, you do magic math, and if you figure out, like, it wound up being like 1/1000th of a cent per impression for this ad, but 2/1000th of a cent for this ad. And so, like, I actually had to pull out a calculator and be like, oh man, why didn't they teach you this in school?
This is math I would actually use, damn it.
Yeah, like, we should have a class literally on advertising, reach, engagement. So now I'm running only the sci-fi ads.
So the X-Men, the X-Men ads are paused.
Yeah, they're paused. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start them again, but I'm going to retool the ad so it's a much broader audience. So it's going to be people who casually like X-Men.
So you're taking out one of the layers, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to take out both the layers, because right now I have it if you like Marvel and you like Magneto and you like Wolverine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to retool the audience and see if I can get the numbers a little bit closer to the million mark by taking out MCU and just putting in all the X-Men names.
Okay.
Because the MCU by itself winds up being like 7 million people, and it's
probably expensive. Yeah, and it's probably expensive to target too. So
I think I'm going to do that. I was going to run actually, I know how I'm going to do this now. I was trying to. So right now I'm running it for the box set, which the box set, if I get a full read through, is like $16 in profit.
Dang.
Purchase it, it's only like $6 in profit. So I'm selling box sets. Woo, yay. The problem is I don't want them selling. I want them reading.
Yeah.
Because I make more money. So once I retool this X-Men ad, I'm running them for 2 days at a time. And then looking at the data, because I'm spending $30 a day right now.
Jesus. Oh God.
My first day I ran all 12 and quickly found out $60 a day is past my pain point.
I would cry. I would cry.
So, but on a good note, yesterday I spent $30 on ads and I made 22.
Okay, so it's closing the gap.
Yeah,
you can't even get that. You can't even get that kind of ROI on AMS these days. I don't care what anybody that's watching this says. You can't.
Yeah, and my AMS ads are still running right now, and I don't think they're doing crap, to be quite honest. I don't think they're doing anything. So my Facebook ads went from $60 a day with a $10 to now $30 with $22. And today I'm going to see if by only selecting the best images, if I can get that $30 to convert to maybe $25.
So when you say the best images, so what are you going to pause the ads that don't have your best delivering images, or are you going to change the images on all of your ads to the same image?
So what I did was, I wonder if I'm sure there's some sort of faux pas by doing this, but I just don't care. So here is my campaign. And because I'm doing these multivariant, I have one campaign and I have a lot of ad sets, because you can't do multiple ads in a multivariant per ad set. So one ad per ad set. So I started out, here are my first 12, and these were, they weren't getting bad numbers as far as clicks. I mean, this one just, no, it just didn't work. So now if I go up to this one, and these have just started serving, so these numbers are going to be super low, but I had one of these, if I go to the ad level, was almost $1 per click. Oh, right here.
Holy crap.
But now my highest is 31.
That's really good.
And if I go in and look at, so I'm just going to pick number 5 because I know that was a good one. This one I didn't expect to convert whatsoever. So if I go look at the breakdown based on which image worked, you can see the image with no Kindle or box set image is higher, but it served more impressions. It also got more link clicks. So while it was the higher of the 3, this one didn't even serve.
Yeah.
Barely served. So that's kind of the balancing how much it's serving versus what it's producing for a result. So what I did, let me shut this off.
So you're basing it on how well it's served, not the price point?
Kind of both. That one was the one that was kind of, that it could be up for debate, but if it's not serving, it's not doing me any good.
Yeah, it's pointless.
So what I did was I shut off all the X-Men ones because these were not serving well at all. The numbers were way past my threshold for comfort. And then if you look at these ones, all of them are under 20 cents.
Damn.
Whereas these were kind of all over the board, 30 cents and up 22 cents. Okay.
The ones that were under 30, so that was broader targeting. And was it the image with just the image, nothing else?
No. So these are using all three images still.
Okay.
So now what I'm doing on these ones, and this is too early to tell, like these numbers aren't real. They just started serving this morning.
Yeah.
This one only has the best photo in each of them.
Oh, okay.
So I am trying to discover if all 6 of these are worth serving using only their best photo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm out of this, I'm going to have 1 or 2 ads that are rock star.
How much, if you don't mind saying, how much have you spent to get to this point?
Okay, so each ad is $5 a day. And Facebook spends all your money, so it's a guarantee.
Oh, yes, it does.
So $30 for the X-Men, $30 for the broad. The X-Men one got shut off for the moment because it just was not giving me numbers that I was comfortable with.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend, I know for a fact today, $30. And am I throwing a lot of money at this problem? Yes, but I'm also shutting them off after 2 days and evaluating and then maximizing. So
you're testing to find your perfect audience and your perfect, quote unquote, like ad, basically. What's going to serve best to what perfect audience? So
what I am going to do is, these are selling the box set. Well, here's the identical ads, except these are selling the single first book. So what I'm going to do is when these ads shut off, I'm going to flip these on and see on the 2 days that I had the box set selling, what was my income? What on the 2 days of my book 1 selling, what was my income? And that way I can determine what was the best image, what was the better product to sell to, and the audience. The only thing I need to do now is I want to go back through and test out. I want to try the new X-Men audience, a much broader version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get to the end of this experiment, I'm going to start the next experiment. But now I have an ad that I know is good. I'm going to pause it so it doesn't corrupt my data, but I'm going to hold on to it because I'm going to use it again later.
Okay.
So I think what I'm learning out of this is, and for anyone who's watching, like, feel free to ask questions when it comes to ads. I am not a guru by any means, but I feel like I'm getting way better really quick. The $30 a day is unsustainable in the long run. I mean, like,
unless you're earning that out.
Yeah. So spending $60 in a day and only making 10, that was $50 a day. That's $500 over 10 days, which is exactly how much I set aside to do my ads.
Yeah.
But what I would like to have happen is, as I'm spending that money, start making it back. So even though I spent $500, I know in 3 months when I get my royalty check, that money is coming back in.
Yeah.
But I do think everyone says start with $5 a day, start with $5 a day. For you to run this test, so I've already made, this is 18 ads. If you did $5 a day and did 2 days to test out your results, you just did 36 days worth of ads. And
Man.
that's why I'm doing 6 at a time, because that's kind of my pain threshold.
Yeah. Well, and for anybody watching that's like, I don't have $500, cash on hand to do this, you can do it over time. The thing is that you're doing, Remy, is you're doing a lot of testing in one big go. But if you're watching this and you're like, I would love to do that, I don't have the money, then do it over 6 months or 9 months. Like, you can take that, you could take $50 a month and test it. It would take you longer, but you could still do the same thing.
And what I might suggest is, if you have $5 to spend, maybe don't do it $5 a day. Maybe do it $35 over 3 days. I feel if you did it in the long haul, you might get organic sales that are going to corrupt your data. Whereas if you do it in short bursts, like, I'm not doing a sale right now. I have no other newsletter swaps happening at this moment, though I do have one coming up at the end of the month I do have to pay attention to. Like, I'm avoiding all other logical income moments. And I think that has also been what stressed me out in the past, because I'd be like, oh man, I'm doing awesome. No, those were from newsletter swaps. So, like, I think doing shorter bursts might be the better way, but I can't tell you.
That makes sense. That would be hard for me because I tend to spread out newsletter swaps throughout the month, so I don't just get them all at the beginning.
Well,
and I always plan 6 weeks ahead for my swaps. Like, that's just how I do it.
For your swaps, spend a month of only newsletter swap, list building swaps.
That's a good idea.
So, and I'm not saying like this is going to drive me nuts. I keep looking towards the other camera.
Well, and I was thinking, I can't do it this month, but I'm honestly thinking the only ads I ever see sales from on AMS these days are category ads. And sometimes product display. Keyword ads, I might as well flush my money down the toilet. It would give me much more entertainment value than doing a keyword ad at this point. I was thinking of doing like product, like basically just category ads for my books on AMS, and then taking the leftover like marketing budget for ads that I have and like plopping it into Facebook next month.
So my category ad for superheroes is at $1.80 right now.
Jesus.
It hasn't served a single impression.
That's your bid? Is $1.80?
A click.
Holy crap.
And zero.
Oh my God, dude.
So
I've actually gotten it down to 47 cents a click this month, and it's serving decently. Not fantastic, but it is serving, and I could not believe it. I was shocked.
I don't actually. I'm going to look at let me take a quick peek, and I will tell you. This is going to be so shameful.
And the dashboard, I think, is glitched because I have different. So this is how I do my AMS. I have different portfolios for each series. So I know how much ad spend I'm spending on each series. Each portfolio has a different maximum monthly budget. And one of my portfolios has almost reached its budget limit, which is fine. But the other one isn't even close, and it shut everything off and said that I had reached my max budget and I had to increase it. And I was like, no, you're like $20 away. from reaching it, but they shut off all the ads. So I have no idea what's going on.
My super ad was at $1.81, 0 served.
That's insane.
Ad for Darius, your keywords and the auto keywords are all set to 50 cents, and amongst all of those, maybe 500 impressions.
Good grief.
The only one I am seeing sizable is in the category for LGBT science fiction and keywords for Goodreads. But the problem is I'm getting 0 sales through them. So
are you getting page reads anywhere?
But I'm running Facebook ads too. So
yeah.
I'm wondering if I should just shut them off and
I am getting sales on the newer book. And it's through the category ad. Honestly, keyword ads do nothing. I don't understand how people make keyword ads work. I never have. And I'm going to stop trying. Honestly, I'm like, you know what? It's just not my thing. That's fine. I don't have to be in all the things. And I am really trying to be okay with that, because trying to be a master at all this stuff that everybody says it will work. I've been trying for 4 years. And if it's not working by now, after everything I've read, after all the money I've sunk into online classes, it's not going to. So I think narrowing my ads focus on AMS is the only way to maintain my sanity and my ads budget at this point.
Well, yeah. And I think like being in the superhero category is just a waste of time and effort right now. Which
is why we created superherofiction.com, honestly.
So my book, I just sold a bunch of copies this morning, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm ranked 26,000 total, 26.5, and I am 69 in LGBT genre fiction.
Nice.
I am 196 in superhero science fiction.
That's really good for that category.
That's the funny thing, is it's not a category.
Superhero science fiction. Wait a minute. You're right.
It's not a category.
So what the hell is it?
So if you Michael Bailey, I see that. We're talking.
What's he doing?
He's writing shaming us.
Why? What's he doing? I hear a lot of talking about. You know what? Yeah, I told you. I'm just kidding.
So if you go into books, it's a book category, not a Kindle category.
Okay.
So my ebook, as normal, is placing in the superhero book category.
Okay. That is so weird.
Hold on, Michael. We can make this happen.
Make what happen?
We may have another guest, and then we'll have to write.
Dang it.
So yeah, so I don't know, like, I would love to provide what I'm learning to the superhero people. I don't know what is good, what is bad.
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you guys my rankings because I'm embarrassed.
Oh, if I told you my other books, you would. I only told you the good one.
Well, and hey, Michael.
Hello,
here's
Mr.
the
Bailey.
thing I don't get. I have almost 300 clicks from newsletter swaps this month on my box set alone, and I have 1 cent in page reads and no sales.
Oh.
And I'm like, why?
Michael, do you do AMS or Facebook ads?
I've looked into Facebook ads, but at the risk of sounding like, a cranky old man telling you to get off my lawn. I just feel like Facebook isn't the platform it used to be, so I'm not really keen on jumping with that one. I have run Amazon ads before, not recently, but I've done them kind of a mixed bag of results.
Mine, we were talking, my AMS ads are so wildly all over the place that I can't give you proof, or I can't give you certainty that anything's working, and I'm guessing, and I hate not having concrete evidence.
Kaleem wants to know if we run... Oh, go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say I've been kind of in the same boat. I know I've had a couple of that seem to do really well. As best I can tell, I don't love Amazon's reporting system. I feel like it's not really informative. But I've also had ones that are identical to the successful ones that did buck, and damned if I know why.
Kaleem, no, at the moment we are not running ads for superhero fiction for the website as a whole. It's actually on the plan.
Yeah.
It's in our next phase because we're Marvel junkies and we phased everything out.
This is phase 2. We're in phase 2 now.
Yeah. So in phase 3, we're going to use advertising to grow. Right now, we're just relying on organics, which I looked at our newsletter. Yay, it doubled.
Yeah. Because we're doing swaps to build the subscriber base. And we figure when we get about 1,000 subs, then we might be able to quote unquote sell really cheaply some prime real estate, not only on the website, but on the monthly newsletter as well. And then that money would then be recycled into an ad budget for the website. So basically what we want is everything to feed back in on itself in a good way, where it all points back to the website in some way. So it increases visibility across the board.
Want to take over the universe.
We're on our way.
I suppose we could write. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, I need to be out by 10. I have to do some grocery shopping, and if I don't get there early enough, the stores have a line outside for social distancing purposes, which I'm totally in support of, but I don't want to wait outside, so I try to get there early.
I keep forgetting you're out on the West Coast. You said you got to be up by 10, and like you're going at 10 at night.
Oh, I know, it throws Remy off too. He's like, "You're eating breakfast?" I'm like, "It's 8 o'clock here."
Wait, I got to be honest though. Most of the time, I'm eating breakfast the same time you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The other day when we were talking, I was like, eggs.
Our egg delivery didn't get here. We get a delivery every week of like milk and eggs, and the farm was out of eggs. So we're like, oh my God, we have to go buy eggs. Like, who does that? I'm just kidding. All right.
So want to do 12:40 to, or 40 to 1, or 40 to the 0, or?
Yep. Let's do it. I'm working on my short story for my subs. I think I'm going to do 1 a quarter instead of 1 a month, because if I am going to publish a romance series next year, I can't do a short story a month and that series, and then also get the 3rd book in Heroes of High Tide out before my readers kill me. So something has to give.
Can you take another peek at the romance anthology thing?
Yes.
I think
did you edit it on the site?
Yeah.
Just send me the link, because it's not live. Yeah, send me the link.
Michael, we're doing a romance anthology. So
It's gonna be-
Is this in response to that one that tried to hose you over?
Weirdly enough, no, it just happened to work out in my favor. We were originally talking about doing a Christmas anthology to do something seasonal during that weird slump time, but it would only sell during Christmas, whereas a romance anthology will sell all year, and it can have a hit during, it could have a boost during
Valentine's.
February. Yeah. So we figured that this just has more flexibility.
All right.
So when they rejected my story, I was like, yes.
Opportunity.
Yep.
Christ-opportunity.
Christ-opportunity. I was just gonna say that. Christ-opportunity.
All right. Classic Simpsons. They have a reference for everyone. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I learned that from my husband.
All right.
My husband
God,
quotes.
I have a concept I could maybe touch it up. Okay.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
weren't sure if anyone would even be like care about it, and we reached out to the people who actually write romance superhero stuff, and all of them were on board, and we were like, oh, this, we will easily be able to fill this anthology.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's gonna be fun.
Okay, I may have
I'm
a
really
concept I
looking
can
forward to it.
actually dust off for that.
Awesome.
I'm
More
gonna
the
see if I
merrier.
can do 10%
Yeah,
more smut.
Idea I was considering for a different superhero. Sorry, go ahead. The lag time's throwing me off here.
No, I'm just gonna see if I can up another like 10% smut in my story.
All right. If you
Okay.
want to play music, Michael, you can just hit the mute button on your mic.
Be back in 20.
Time.
Three, 3, 7. Wah, wah.
755.
Damn.
If I know what I'm writing, I can write pretty damn quick.
I made it to 150.
Hey, some words are better than no words.
You know those days where you just sort of rewrite the same sentence over and over again? That's my day.
Yep. I am revising. I worked on my short story for this sprint, but I'm revising book 2, and I'm just like, oh my God, how many other words for this are there? So I can put it in here.
I'm writing this one last fight scene for book 3, and then I still have about 10,000 words to finish. But I'm going to stop it and go back to book 1 and start editing, because I think I need a kind of refuel to make sure that this book ends the way I want it to.
That makes sense. I'm gonna have to say goodbye.
Oh, farewell. Enjoy your grocery shopping.
Thank you. The drive is very nice. I put on my music. I drive. So
I have to do a Target run, and by Target run, I have to click a whole lot of buttons on a website. So
there you go. Yeah, I got to sit by Target too. My oldest grew out of everything, and she still needs some stuff. So I got to make that a part of the run. Anyway, have a wonderful writing time, you guys, and I will see you both later.
oh yeah, tonight's a thing.
Yeah, the last panel. Have a good time, you guys.
See ya.
Right.
So, Michael, when do you think your next book will be out?
Well, I just yesterday I dropped a new book in my fantasy series. The next superhero one is probably not going to be until next. Oh, my cat's. My next superhero book probably isn't going to be until next late winter, early spring. That's usually when I release a new one of those. I'm actually working on that one right now, first draft. So it's a glorious, sloppy mess.
My cover artist is working on the covers for this trilogy, and then I need to revise book 1 and get it to the editor. And it's once I get that one taken care of, then I'll know the timeline for the rest. But I would like 3 summer releases. I just need another book 1 like nobody's business.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered. I'm actually repackaging books 1 through 3 of Action Figures as an omnibus edition. I just sent that to my editor, and I'm trying to think of some kind of cover concept for like this. Usually all I have to do is tell her like cover like this and kind of let her go, but I'm sort of blanking on something for the omnibus edition. I've been going through some of my old comics just looking for inspiration, because she's enough of a geek. I can speak to her in shorthand. I'll just say, give me Dark Phoenix Saga, and she goes, okay, I can do that, and away she goes.
Yeah, my the cover for my box set, I literally was like, you know that scene of that book cover, The Rise of the Phoenix, before she becomes Dark Phoenix? And he's like, done, I'm good. I was like, oh yeah, just add gargoyle wings. We're good. Done. Piece of cake.
Same person who did the new covers for Night Hawks?
Yep. The new trilogy, the difficulty is it's much more urban fantasy, and so I went and did all the research for like what's currently selling in urban fantasy. And then a friend made a suggestion that maybe I should make sure that there's some alt history elements because it is an alternative history book. And so like I sent him a 18-page brief. He replied with like an 8-page email, and I replied with like a 4-page email. So we're narrowing it down, but it's just so much work.
And this is just for the cover?
Yeah. Because we want it to look like it belongs to the series, but at the same time, it has to be much more fantasy or urban fantasy driven. And urban fantasy people are so nitpicky. Yeah. So
yeah, they can be.
So ultimately what I'm doing is I'm releasing a superhero book as an urban fantasy book so that I can try and place in the superhero category with an urban fantasy book.
Oh God, that is going to be the biggest pain in our collective ass for forever.
Yeah, well, and so I was saying earlier, like I'm getting good sales right now, and I was like, oh look, my omnibus edition is currently available. I'm ranking in superhero. Oh yeah, I'm ranking in print superheroes with my ebook. Amazon, like, are you drunk?
I really don't get that. Yeah, I really wish they would just. I wish they would use the BISAC codes, because they used to, when it was Create Space, you could actually enter a BISAC code, which seemed to give you some more accurate categorization in Amazon. But then when Amazon absorbed Create Space into the whole Kindle Direct thing, that went away, and it went back to picking 2 categories.
And even if
throwing in a bunch of keywords.
And even if they did, like, even if BISAC wasn't, maybe there weren't enough categories for them because there were so many books coming in. Create new BISAC codes that work for Amazon, but by using this keyword, I can get into this category, and by using this category, it opens up these 2 they've complicated the system to, I don't know to what end. Like, are they trying to keep out like newbies and just drill them out right away, or the AI is out of control?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I released Urban Fantasy Trilogy on audiobook. It ended up in some. It was like, I think it was like mystery, in a mystery thriller category, which tangentially it fit into, but
well,
specifically LGBT, which at least the first part was correct, but the rest of it is just okay, mystery thriller, I guess.
My audiobook was originally in children's superhero, and like in the book category, and I had to keep calling them. I was like, look, if people think that this is a children's story, I murder hundreds of thousands of people in the first 5 pages, like not quite child friendly. Like teen, okay, sure, but I'm in there with like the Captain America coloring book.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So like, I wish that they would stop with the hurdles and just make a clear-cut system. But also, an ebook should only be in the ebook categories. The book should only be in book categories. I just think it would make things easier. And as a reader, I think I would start getting pissed. Like, I want what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
I feel like that's almost a common problem all over the place, because being a homeowner again, if I go to Home Depot and I try and look something up, some of their categorization is very bizarre after whatever search terms, and it won't bring it up. But then I change to this weird related search term, and all of a sudden whatever I'm looking for shows up. And that happens on Amazon sometimes a lot. It's almost like looking for anything with too much specificity backfires, which isn't how the system should work.
Unless you have the exact title verbatim, you're looking for a screw, and for some reason washing machines are showing up, and that's pretty much Amazon in a nutshell.
Yeah, I wish we could do without it, but unfortunately, there's some decent money coming in through that, and
yeah,
so
it's I'm married to this bad. I'm married to an abusive relationship, and I'm stuck.
Yeah, the 2 years I went wide and tried to push Barnes and Noble and Kobo, 4 books total sales over 2 years, and they were all to this one friend of mine. I tell people shows who didn't like Amazon, oh, can I get them somewhere else? I say, yeah, they're here and they're here. I sold more through my website than I sold through Barnes and Noble or Kobo over 2 years. And it's like, you can't break the monopoly if people aren't actually willing to spend elsewhere.
In 18 months, I was part of being wide with my whole catalog. I probably moved 200 books total, which isn't bad, but it was only after being in 18 months, I was in 8 different promotions on Kobo, and I never sold a book on Barnes and Noble. All 200 come from Kobo, and the amount of advertising I was doing to even get like blips on Kobo, I went back into KDP and I made the exact same money in under a month.
Yep, sounds about right. They said earlier, you should see some pretty solid sales from that story bundle. That's going to be really good.
So I'm excited and nervous. Oh, so I think I can tell. I don't think it's any secret. I'm in there with Kevin J. Anderson, Dean Wesley Smith, Matt Ward, I know, and then Mark Lefebvre is in there. One of Russell Newquist's books is in there. Lucas Flint's in there. David Reese, and then there these folks I don't know. Robin Brand, Matt Forbick, James Robert Smith, and Liddy Chang. Oh, and Tina Glassneck. So
okay, that is a completely new lineup from when I did, which is hold on, let me see if I could find.
But it's been kind of nice because, you know, I've been talking to Kevin J. Anderson, and I knew he was a big deal, and I hadn't done my homework. And so originally I got rejected from it, and I'm just chatting with him about comics and, you know, geeking out. And he was like, oh yeah, I worked for DC and I worked for Marvel, and I worked on the Starjammers run. And I was like, oh my God, like that's so cool. And then like we didn't talk for a couple days, and he comes back and he goes, someone didn't read the fine print about KDP, are you still interested? And I said, well, yes, I am. And he was like, yeah, we'll do it. And it was just nice because, you know, even though I didn't get into it, we had still had a great conversation, and that I don't know, but it helped. So
I just pulled it up. I apparently didn't break it out as much as I did, but my overall sales for book one that year were over 1,000, and I know a good chunk of that was from the story bundle. And what I found is far more often than not, people just bought the whole bundle because, you know, they do the tiered bundle where you get X number of books no matter what. And then if you go the extra step, you get additional books. Pretty much everyone got the full package.
okay. Well, that's
So
good.
even if you're in that second tier, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be in the free tier, so yeah, I'm excited because
really, I think I was in the primary selection.
I was hoping to see some more names from superhero fiction in there, not just for I don't know, camaraderie, I guess, but I at least, I mean, Lucas Flint, I know, David Reese, I know, and then Mark Lefebvre, I just know from meeting him in Chicago. But I'm kind of just excited for, oh, look, more networking with other authors who do similar things.
Yeah, the only, I'm pulling the page up now to remind myself. The one name I remember from, here it is. It was the indie superhero bundle. The only name among them that I knew already was, and I may be mangling her name, Muriel Lafferty.
Nope, doesn't strike me as familiar.
She did the two Shambler's Guide books, which I read the first one. I thought was a lot of fun.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a following. She was in there, but I got it now. The other authors, there was Adam Oster, Matt Adams, Joshua Corey Mays, Jack Wallen, Charlie Wood, and Mike Leon. I didn't know any of these people before.
Oh, so how many books total were in your bundle?
Just 8. It was not huge.
Oh, okay. Because we have we have 13 in ours.
Nice size.
He said he got over.
Hopefully your group is did you freeze up?
Oh,
Yours being recorded.
I can never tell on StreamYard.
There you
are. I think the 13 people, and I mean, Dean Wesley Smith and Kevin J. Anderson are in there, who, I mean, outsell me like by 100-fold, if not 1,000-fold.
Yeah, hopefully everyone involved in your bundle is going to be better about promoting it. It was like any group promotion. Half the group did 90% of the work. A couple other people did a token amount of promotion, and 2 people just were. And my work is done.
Um, yeah, my goal this year, even with like the testing the advertising and doing newsletter swaps and all of that, is this year I just want more eyes. I'm not so concerned with money because my read throughs are really good, but if I'm getting 1 out of 10 on my read through, selling 10 books isn't doing me very much. So it's purely a numbers game. Like I'm willing to get a free BookBub on book 1 just for my read through. I want 10,000 sales or whatever have you.
BookBub even still worth it? I've been hearing from people who like they've lost a little bit of their luster.
So I've had three bubs total so far, a US, an international, and another US. My second US was when I was still with the publisher, and had they not paid for half the ad, I wouldn't have broken even. But I had all 3 of those book bubs in a 6-month span. So, I mean, realistically, like, those people already bought. But every book club, I did move a minimum of 1,300 copies, between 1,300 and 2,500.
Okay.
So I broke even on my second book bub, but my read through to book 2 within like 2 weeks was great profit. So,
all right.
So I think if you have a longer series, then yes, it's still worth it. You just might not see all your money back on day 1 like you normally do.
Okay.
Which is why I
file that away. I mean, yeah, I'm not doing a lot for promotions and advertising this year as I've done in the past. Part of it's just hunkering down financially because I'm stuck at home and not working my side gig. Just also, I think I may have hit it. I don't know. I may have been saturated trying to find things to do on a consistent basis, hit a point of overload, and just had to step back from it. So I should get back into it. But right now, I'm just like, I just need to be creative and not businessman Mike for a while.
Well, and I definitely, like, I spent the first 2 months of quarantine only writing. Like, I produced 2 books in 2 months. So
Nice.
And it was fun only writing, but now I'm getting to the end and I'm like, okay, now I have bandwidth for this other stuff. But it wasn't always like that. It's kind of an ebb and flow situation for me.
I was hoping to get a shit ton of writing done during lockdown, but this is really it's a good thing, but it's kind of a pain in the ass thing. My wife's embroidery business. She makes like geeky patches in her home studio, and she's had in a catalog for quite a while now. Part of her Geek Merit Badge line, she has one for Plague Survivor, which is just a plague doctor mask. People have been buying those stupid things hand over fist. Like, one point we had a backlog of 60 patches on order, and I'm spending most of my time in the studio running the machines because she's technically still employed by the Hanover Theater, so she's got stuff keeping her busy. I'm down here running it, and with 2 embroidery machines running, and you have to get up every 5 to 10 minutes to reset them. You don't get anything else done. So we have money coming in. We have quite a bit.
Have you promoted
Time suck.
them in the Facebook group Continual in Constellation? Because I feel that that would be the place to do it right now. There's 22,000 people in Constellation.
I'm part of that group. I don't think I've plugged it. I may have to go do that. We actually took a week off, shut the Etsy shops down specifically so I could catch up on orders because we were so backed up. I can take a look at Monday. I know someone posted it on one of the Rent Fair community boards, and that's when we started to see that huge initial spike, and then Etsy's algorithms took over, started pushing, just because I guess they can't do nothing but surgical masks all day now.
Hold on, I'm going to. Okay, you're already in that one. Okay, I just invited you to Continual, the con that never ends. But between those two, I would think those people, even if not the Plague one, just geeky stuff in general, like they are whores at the moment for geek stuff.
I'll double check with my wife, make sure it's technically her business. I'm just the guy who does 90% of it.
You're just the free labor.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like I said, it's kind of a good problem to have. It's under normal circumstances, it pays our mortgage, but right now it's paying our mortgage and then some. So we gotta strike a balance between bringing the money in and not driving me insane. I seriously came the closest I've come since this all began to having some kind of meltdown. I was cabin feverish to begin with because my side job goes pretty much on hiatus end of December. So I'd already been a homebound hermit for about 2.5 months. And then they said, no, you got to do this for 2020.
And I don't know if you saw, we got the quasi not quite official, maybe sorta, that we're not going back in the fall. Per CDC guidelines, my school in particular meets absolutely none of them. And there is absolutely no way that we can run a school when we are already over our volume. And oh my God, the lawnmowers need to go away. Like it's to the point where like we're talking about only having freshmen come in on a Monday and then sophomores on a Tuesday. But even with that, our hallways are so congested that it can't be done. So we got hey guys, you might want to start thinking about how you're going to do remote for the fall.
Yeah, I'm being told through friends / middle management for Life Touch that we're gonna start doing stuff in June. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I don't know if we're just going to go into empty schools and suit up like the men from GLAAD and handle students one at a time by strict appointment only. They say we're going back, which hooray money, but I also I also have a wife with a chronic respiratory condition. So, if I do go back to work every day I come home, I'm gonna be showering like Karen Silkwood to make sure I don't get her sick.
Yeah, if we go, like we were talking when this all started, we were like, oh, we'll go back for June and we'll have 2 weeks to wrap it up with the students and everything. And I called my doctor and I was like, I need a note for anxiety. There's no way I can go back. I'm in the grocery store. The last time I went to the grocery store was like 4 weeks ago, and had a nervous breakdown and wound up like threw the stuff on the conveyor belt, got out, was in my car shaking. It just, nope, cannot handle it right now.
Yeah.
It's quite the terrifying world at the moment.
Yep. I mean, at least even though Oxford has what seems to be a good streak of red running through it for the most part, I have people in the supermarket. Like the entire town goes to this one market basket, and people seem to be behaving. I've seen a couple people show up at a shop with masks on, and no one's even trying to stop them. So I'm like, nope, not going there. And we have one guy who opened his gym because his freedoms, doing a service, not going to let the government tell him what to do, blah de blah. But for the most part, people around here they seem to be behaving.
Yeah, I feel I will need plenty of medication at this point to go back out into the public.
Yeah, I know my wife's big concern. She works for a theater. They're tentatively going to try and hold their first show in October, and maybe it'll happen. I think they're proceeding with cautious optimism, emphasis on the cautious part, but it's still high hopes. And I've already told the Connecticut Renaissance Fair I'm not doing cast this year if they open, because I don't care if it's an outdoor show. They don't pay me enough to expose myself to it. Even if it happens, right now, I think Connecticut's getting ready to allow for public outdoor events, but the cap right now is 100 people. I don't know if that's based on 100 people per X size of venue or just flat 100 people. But if that is still in effect come the fall, the fair can't open without losing money. So it might not happen, but that falls under the category of problem I'll deal with when it shows up. But if they open, I'll gladly help their social media or either an advisory capacity. I'm not going through.
And I think this has given me a time, so my whole goal is to move to Scotland and go be a writer and a college professor. So right now my day job is so light and I'm able to do it pretty efficiently. So a lot of my time is being a college professor and writing. And so now I'm getting a chance to see what that reality might look like. And so far, so good. But it's kind of put the fire under my butt to release as much as I can to help build up my back catalog so that I have more steady income instead of these spikes.
Yeah, I'm still dealing very much with the spike model. It's definitely gotten better over time. The the waves that follow a new release are hanging on a little longer and each one's stronger, but it's still, for me, a case of new book releases, awesome month followed by really good month followed by several decent months. I want to, boost that the whole way through. So.
My I'll be quite frank, getting my rights back from the publisher gives me a lot of freedom, and I'm able to do stuff now that I wasn't able to do before. But at the same time, I lost my publisher's fuel, and I lost all that momentum I gained, and basically became a brand new writer all over again. And from 2016 to 2020, the landscape changed drastically, and I did not take that into account. And so being a brand new writer again, oh crap, I have to go do all the things that brand new writers do again. So I'm doing all the podcasts, the interviews, the blogs, the trying to build myself. All right, you want to do another sprint?
Sure. Give me a minute. I have to. My wife is pinging me for something. But she is she has the attic as her office. I have the basement on mine. So let me go run, see what she wants, and be right back.
I'll be
In the
here.
meantime, here's my cat.
A delightful co-host.
Keep him company, Molly.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Michael writes the action figure series. He's been doing this longer than I have, actually. We have been. I'm gonna mute him for a second. Michael actually lives probably 20 minutes away from me, and we've known each other for years upon years. The company that he works for is actually a company I did business with for many years, and so we know each other through like a dozen different channels. And then we were like, "Oh, you write superheroes? Oh, I write superheroes." And so we just connected. We're part of a New England group. We're part of several New England organizations, and our circles just kept getting tighter and tighter until we eventually bumped into one another. I could probably get in my car and be at his house in like 10 minutes. There's a really good like writing community in the 30-minute drive from my house. There's some great horror writers, like literally I can see their house from mine. And it's a really tight-knit group. Like we all get together for coffee, we have conventions together, we work each other's tables when we go to conferences. It's been really great. And some of those are people who actually helped me get my publishing contract. And while it didn't make me a bajillionaire, it definitely got me on some good teams. I was telling the universe how we know each other through like 1,000 different channels.
Yeah, I'm learning. I've learned over the past few years just how bloody small the world is. Not too long ago, I realized that Steve Van Samson knows my friend Donnie, who I met doing the Ren fairs. They met through the convention circuit. Donnie's he's an actor, and he's also a Green Arrow cosplayer.
Okay.
And Steve also knows my friend Dean, who I've literally known the guy for half my life. He was a cast member of King Richard's Fair back when I first started doing it, and knew each other through primarily the horror convention circuit. It was just one of these things where I saw them commenting on each other's Facebook page. I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell do you guys know each other?
Steve lives literally. I was just telling about how I could see someone's house from my front door. Steve is within eyesight of my house. And I met Steve at the first panel I was ever on was in Lancaster at the public library with, oh, who was there? It was Dan Cohane, Jennifer Alice Provost, Trish Woldridge, and somebody from Maine whose name I'm going to completely forget. And like I had zombie books out, and I had just moved to Clinton, and they were like, "Oh, we need someone else," and I was like, "Well, it's literally a 2-minute drive, so I'll do it if you want." And I met Steve there, and that's actually how I got my publishing contract through Trish and Jen. And just the world went from big to whoosh, very tight knit, very quickly.
Yeah, I one of the first public library events I did, I was on a panel with Pete Kale, Bloodshot Books,
Oh yeah,
who's a friend of my cover artist, Trisha. Again, small world syndrome just hitting me out of left field.
my first convention that I did was with the New England Horror Writers, and Pete Kale was one of the people there. It was me, Pete, Jen, and Scott Goodsword. And then later on, Pete Kale became a coworker at my day job. So once you start looking and seeing the people and how they're connected, like it's very incestuous.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for 11:45 to 12:05.
All right, let's see if I can actually make something happen this time.
Let's see. Oh, and then Miranda met Jen through Miranda Dalzova, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong. I know from the New England Speculative Writers, and she is friends with Jen Provost, who through the horror, right? Like it just becomes this one like circle, like.
You actually made me wonder if things got even smaller, because I know a different Jen Provost who's a photographer. So it just, you said the name and I'm like, wait a minute, am I going to have another mind blower moment? But different Jen Provost. Think.
It wouldn't shock me, to be honest. Be like, oh, by the way. All right, I'm gonna go hop into a sprint.
Okay, can do this.
In time. I don't know how much I wrote. I have 758 total for today.
Yeah, I got up to about 170-ish. I hate these transition scenes. It's, the scenes that you need to have in there to get from point A to point B, but are just not very interesting.
I'm probably going to get called out a little bit because I get rid of some of the transition scenes. I'm in a fight scene that don't try and figure out the choreographing for this one. It's not good.
That's why I get hung up on fight scenes, is because I know a little too much about it, so I kind of obsess about the details. I'm not above getting up and making sure moves work, or breaking out the action figures and getting the traffic patterns right.
So we went this way, so that means your hand's here, so it means your other hand. If you look too closely at it, I'm sure I grew an extra arm somewhere. So I'm gonna have to go. I have chores I apparently need to be doing. But starting next week, we're gonna go back to doing these every day, and it's whoever comes along comes along.
All right. Well, assuming the background noise from the embroidery machines isn't overwhelming, I'm down here every day. So, I just realized it looks like there's a harpoon going through the back of my head.
I didn't even notice. That's pretty well positioned.
Yeah, that's the rack there. You can.
Oh damn.
Oh yeah, I've got a small arsenal of stage weapons down here. Most of the hand weapons are behind the couch, and if you can see it, there's a wall of prop guns and whatnot.
My one battle ready sword. Which now looks like it's part of my office supplies. All right.
For me, it technically is.
Well, that's true.
All right.